Cooking with cardboard. Hello everyone, and welcome to the kitchen. Today we are looking at Majik Masks, at least my take on Majik Masks as it currently stands. We're going to talk about various substitutions, tips, tricks, and tactics with the cards as we go along. Now, first thing is we are rocking Marianas as our Warlord. Marianas being the only bounty Warlord currently at the moment. We know she's got a reprint coming in the next set, Masquerade. However, this is the Kickstarter version, so if you don't have her, do know she is coming. Some other options for her, you could run either of the Hero Warlords, as well as Onoskelis is another great option should you want to be running some of the janky demon stuff. Now, Marianas, you have her specific Guardian, her specific Synergy, as well as her specific realm. She cannot be run with anything else. She is locked, as are her Synergy and everything else. Now we are going to move on to the warriors that are running in this deck. First one is Majik Mask Minion, probably the best warrior to be running with this. Honestly, it's tough to run this without Majik Mask Minion. Its disguise ability, consume 5 and then search your deck for a Majik Mask card and equip it to a warrior on the field. Insanely good, stupid strong, grabbing 3-eyed dart, grabbing Fang Face to rip cards from their hand. Really, really good. And then its Perish effect, you can target Majik Mask in your discard pile and equip it to a warrior on the field. Great for recycling your masks without having to deal with them being fortified. Insanely useful, very helpful. If you're running this, get 3 of the Majik Mask minions. Insanely good. We are running 3 Majik Mask merchants. Normally, before these new promos, the merchant was not very useful. However, now, with its Perish effect, searching for a Majik Mask bounty card, it can add the minions to your hand, which is absolutely wonderful. So aside from the magic engine, you have the merchant that you can sack off of Secret Savannah to grab yourself a fortified, as well as one of your minions to conscript out on your opponent's turn and make their turn a lot more unpleasant. Its second Perish effect, being able to burn for each armament card in your discard pile, is fun, and that chip damage does win you games. It doesn't seem like it, but burning for 3, burn for 4, burn for 6, it's good. It's good. Running 2 Magic Guide of the Darkwood. He has a fun little Perish where you can just target Magic Bounty Realm Unified card in target player's discard pile. It can get you back the Magic Unifieds you need. You can also just steal them from your opponent. Stealing their Magic Void Unifieds is great to use against your opponent. He's quirky. A lot of the time he doesn't get a huge amount of use. And honestly, you could probably replace one of him. You could run Magic Void Beast is very much a good option for those. You might be able to switch out one of the Majik Mask merchants for the Void Beast or Hyacinth, both recommended cards. Void Beast might even be more of a side deck card, but also very, very good because you can search it off. You get it off of you can get it off your path as well as your wishing well. We'll get to once we get to the Unifieds. They're running a single Renegade, Charisma, Shockwave, just Perish is good. He's a great staple card. Honestly, he is replaceable with Void Beast, should you have it. Because generally, with the way Magic Mask works, you don't want to be destroying your opponent's warriors. You want to keep them on the field so you can attach masks and make their life miserable. However, Kakabel, the Golden Star Child, is absolutely wonderful, being able to bounce one of the cards that is a problem. Secret Savannah, pop him, draw a card. It's great, it's wonderful. And last but not least, for the warriors, we are running a single version of each of the bounty hunters. The main reason we are running the bounty hunters is for mysterious mechanisms. Should it get set up on the board, your bounty unifieds are dead. And bounty does not have a lot of ways around this, so the bounty hunters are definitely a great option. They also work wonderful as targets for Sword of Sacrifice, should that be a play you get to before the Veil pops. Speaking of, onto the Unifieds, we have the Greaves of Gallantry, single version of that, and a single Sword of Sacrifice. We are running these for no other reason than running Marianas as the Warlord. The Realm will search out two of those, one to hand, one to discard. And your Guardian can retrieve the one that was sent to the graveyard. If you want to be really quirky, you can leave them in the deck, activate your Synergy, and just pull them out of the deck. However, they will attach to separate Ghost Pirates when really you want them on a single one, so you can swing directly for a minimum of 26. Only reason I got those in there. Running one Magic Summoning Wave. It is a great card. It comes up often enough. It's not coming up often enough to run more, even though we are running quite a few warriors. It doesn't end up being super wonderful running multiple copies. Tried multiple copies, one is enough. It is grabbable off of your path as well as Magic Wishing Well. Running a single Void Aurora. Void Aurora does not hurt us in the least, and it hurts just about everybody else. And it protects our Fortifieds, which are a big part of the deck. Running a single Twilight Rose. In case one of your warriors gets eradicated, your opponent has good warriors with Plunder or some other fun little card effects. Being able to revive one of your minions out of the graveyard and or Eradication Zone is great. More masks on the field really helps out. A single Twilight Magnolia, because this deck uses quite a bit of Consume. It doesn't look like it off of the hop, but we definitely run a whole lot more Consume with Magic Masks than we do Bloodborne. And Magnolia doesn't do a whole lot. It's the burn for 3 when you conscript and heal your opponent really hurts the opponent more than it hurts us. 100%, we don't burn ourselves enough. We don't pay enough Bloodborne to really worry about that burn. Running a single Welcome to Albadern because card draw, and it's just Pseudo Mists, it's a heal. You run one of, there's a reason it's a one of. We're running 2 Dismantles as well as 2 Seal Their Fates. Big reason, shut down Mysterious Mechanism before it can activate. Keep that card off of the field as much as possible. 3 ofs would be a bit too much. I think it would overcrowd the deck. You can give it a shot should you be adventurous. We're running 2 secret savannas. If you're running any decent Bounty Realm fortified cards, you want to run Secret Savannah. It replaces itself and gets you your fortified. We are running a bunch of good targets for this card. It will also trigger your perish effects on your minions and your merchants, which is great. First of the masks that we are running is 2 of the 3-Eyed Dark. There's no reason not to run 2 of these if you are running the masks at all. 1 is not enough and 3 is not allowed. You run 2, being able to burn your opponent for 24 in their reinforced phase is great. It's disgusting, and it's very much a problem if they do not deal with this card. So honestly, you attach it to their creature. If it's not a big threat creature, you just leave it on the board. Even if it decides that it can swing into your face for 10, you eat that 10. Just knowing that you're going to burn your opponent for 24 on the next turn. Absolutely disgusting card. It's great. We're running 3 of the Magic Wishing Wells. We run quite a few magic cards. And Wishing Well is just a crap ton of card draw for very little effort. There is one downside for Magic Wishing Well is later in the game, as it says draw a card for each Magic Bounty Realm card in your discard pile that is not named Magic Wishing Well. So once you have a fair-sized discard pile, playing Magic Wishing Well can draw you more cards than you have in your deck, making it not a legal play. Do be careful of that should you reach the late game. And the other part of the engine there is Path to Mitigan Magic. This card is absolutely beautiful. I love this card. It's great. Sends 5 Magic Bounty Realms to the discard pile from deck as cost, and then you just reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Anything that is a magic, which most of them are, gets thrown into your hand. It also has a fun little, discard effect where if it was not sent there that turn, target 3 Magic Bounty Realm cards in your discard pile and shuffle them back into the deck by eradicating Path. Now, a fun little quirk you can do if you have a Path in discard, play 1 for turn, you send 5 Magic Bounty Realm cards as cost, and then you respond to your Path with the Path that's in the discard pile, shuffling 3 magic back into the deck before you do your reveal 5. Fun, quirky little thing you can do with Path. It will synergize greatly with itself. Those are the Unifieds. Unified that definitely needs to be added to this, I just do not have it, is the new Unified Magic Masks that we get out of the campaign promos. It is Faceless Smiles. It works very similar to 3-Eyed Dark, but instead of Bloodborne 12, your opponent, whoever has the mask, needs to pay Consume 12 during the reinforce phase. This can be very, very mean, because if you combine it with Cup of Invocation, you can make it where your opponent is consuming 20 during their reinforce phase just because they have a singular version of the mask. It also has a graveyard effect where it can eradicate itself, you can consume 10, and revive one of your magic warriors from discard, bringing back a minion, letting you do a bunch more janky mask stuff. It is a card that I'm going to definitely be trying to do at minimum 2 copies of, potentially 3, just because of its graveyard effect. Now onto the Fortifieds. Doing the staple 2 mists, because it exists, you can only run 2 of them, you run 2 of them, it's mists it buys you a turn, it shuffles cards back in. Absolutely no reason not to. Running a single Dark Portal, this card works great against any decks that like to draw. Looking at heroes. Slap that down. Once they activate their synergy to draw up to 8, just make it a painful time for them. Against decks that don't draw a lot, this card doesn't really help a whole lot. However, it is a great side deck target. Swap out. Another great card that I've gotten a bunch of value off of is Gone But Not Forgotten. It is the only way this deck has Wisdom. It also has the benefit of reviving and giving Shockwave. Great target for it is, you guessed it, Mask Minion. Give me masks, let me look at my cards, let me pop something off the field that could be a problem. Great card, definitely worth throwing into your pile should you have it. We are running also Void Hollow. It's one of those cards, just shut down your opponent's turn, pop something, draw a card. If you have Void Hollow, you run Void Hollow. Definitely worth it. Twilight Gardens, another one of those cards, if you have it, you run it. Twilight Garden is a very quirky card, and you need to know your opponent's deck to get the most value out of this card. However, any of their big engine pieces, hitting it with Twilight Gardens, burn them for up to 9 for each one. Can't go wrong. Good target. Path to Mitigan Magic if you're playing against Magic Masks. Twilight Gardens hitting Path. Shuts down a nice big engine that we got rocking in here. We're also running Opponent's Target Competition. I don't see this run in many bounty decks. However, in this deck, it works extremely well. First line where you deal a damage to each opposing Warlord for each Bounty Realm Warrior on the field is... It's good. It's okay. I do not run it for the first effect. I run it for the second effect. It is a pocket conscription. Flip it up, conscript a warrior from hand, a merchant, a minion, one of the Bounty Realm guys, fill up the board. The minion is a great target. Do it when they're attacking, pay for the disguise, attach Fang Face, rip some cards out of their hand. It's great, plus it draws you a card, as most good Albion cards do. Peninsula of Power. Great little quirky card if you have it. Just take some damage to the face and grab any bounty card out of your discard pile. Can't go wrong, it's great to run at least a one of. And Magic Void Cluster. Magic Void Cluster is a great card. It gets you your other Magic Void cards. Its biggest benefit is it will destroy a card on the field. Nice thing is with Void Cluster, you search and add the Magic Void card to your hand as cost. So even if they do prevent Void Cluster from activating and destroying a card on the field, you still get that search. Great card. If you got one, run one. I'm not sure if 2 would be worth running. Honestly, 2 might be a bit too much. However, it would be a good side deck option. You could swap out Dark Portal for Void Cluster as your main chunk. Now onto the fun stuff. Magic Mask Fang Face. This card does not get played enough. I think this card is overlooked quite a bit, because it doesn't seem like it does a whole heck of a lot. You equip it, the equipped warrior must attack each turn if able. If the equipped warrior is destroyed by battle involving another warrior, the owner of the equipped warrior must pay 6. So if your guy dies, if the guy this is equipped to dies, burn for 6. If the equipped warrior destroys another warrior by battle, then the owner of the equipped warrior must discard 2 cards. Hand rip. If they cannot discard 2 cards, it bounces back to its owner's hand. So with Minion, this is really fun. You use target competition, pop out your Minion from hand, attach Fang Face to the guy that is attacking. It now must continue the attack because it must attack if able. It then smashes into your Minion. Your Minion dies. They have to discard 2 cards from their hand in the middle of the turn. It's great. If you take their warrior with them, it's 6. If you can get a mask Minion out and use Magic Summoning Wave. Let's see if we can find it here. If you can get a Minion out and then Magic Summoning Wave 2 more minions, you can get 3 Fang Faces attached to a single guy. Now, if the thing you're swinging into is only a Strength 1 or Attack 1, and they have 3 Fang Faces on them, you're now burning them for 18, as they're going to die fighting your minion, and ripping 2, 4, or 6 cards out of their hand. Great card. It's overlooked. That's my little spicy take from this. Alright, running 2 Sad Gold. Honestly, Sad Gold could probably be cut down to 1. It is very rare that I actually play Sad Gold, because generally speaking, you want to keep your opponents, at least a warrior on your opponent's side of the field, so that you can gift him masks. However, Sad Gold is great against any of those attack 5 creatures, because you can attach Sad Gold, slap on some Fang Faces through various quirkiness, and then smack one of your warriors into their face, causing them to discard and burn. Good card. I'm probably going to keep it at 2. Once I get the Faceless Smiles, those are definitely going in. Now, for the last of the Fortifieds and final quirkiness of the deck, the Magic Moonlight Dances, running 2 of each. So we're going to go over Waltz first. It has a fun little static that most people don't like. Each time an opponent's warrior's keyword ability is attempting to activate, reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is a warrior, negate that ability, then place the revealed card on the bottom of the deck. One of the reasons we are running as many warriors in here as we are. But the main reason you run Waltz, aside from irritating your opponents, is it's once per turn. Destroy a face-down fortified card on your side of the field, then if you do, reduce the next consume cost of a Magic Moonlight card effect. You activate this turn by 10. And with the current Magic Moonlight cards that are available, they're free. I assume at some point there's going to be a much stronger Magic Moonlight, and it will probably not be as free, but currently it is free. Oh, Magic Moonlight Sonata. This is another good one. There is something quirky you can do with Promenade with this one. I don't think it's good enough to run Promenade. I've been bouncing back and forth. Anyway, for Consume 5, you search your deck for 2 Magic Moonlight fortified cards, put them face down on the field. If the consume cost is reduced, you can double the following effect, allowing you to search for 4 Magic Moonlight cards. Put them face down, they can be activated, yada yada. So use Promenade. If you do decide to do the Promenade, kind of attack Promenade, activates during your opponent's reinforce phase. You can either make it so you can't take more than 5 damage, or reduce the cost of one of your Fortified's consume costs by 5. So you can use Promenade, make Sonata free, and then activate Sonata, with it being the only Fortified on the board, and fill up your other 4 Fortified spaces with Waltz and Bolero, another Sonata if you wanted to. Thing with Sonata, it is search your deck for 2. It's not up to 2. It has to be 2. Another nice effect with Sonata is you can eradicate it from your discard pile, and then for the remainder of the turn, your Magic Moonlight cards cannot be negated. And last but not least, Magic Moonlight Bolero. This is probably the strongest of them, especially with how many warriors we run because of Waltz. The cost of Consume 10 can script 3 warriors from your hand. If the consume cost is reduced by the effect of a Magic Moonlight card, Promenade would also count for this. You can also revive 2 bounty warriors from your discard pile. So it is a up to 5 warriors off of its main effect, which can be great if a lot of the time you reduce the consume cost and you revive the 2, bring back 2 minions from the discard pile to pull some more masks out, some more Fang Faces, some sad golds if you need it, lots of gross things. And it also has, if this card is in your discard pile, you can eradicate it face up, and if you do, target a Magic Moonlight Fortified card in your discard pile and place it face down, it can be activated. So one of the things I mentioned was off of Path to Mitigan Magic. These 2 are definitely good sends depending on the matchup and how quick the deck is. Waltz is another good send off of Path. I'd also send Sad Gold and a Fang Face. I always send at least one of the Sad Golds and one of the Fang Faces to discard, just so Minion has a target for its parish. But back to the original point here, Bolero can eradicate itself to set either Sonata or Waltz, depending on match. If they're going a little bit slow with their warriors, set Sonata, trigger Sonata, grab the other Waltz and Bolero out of the deck, and set them down on the field. It's pretty good if you already had Waltz on the field from having it in hand, or already had Sonata on the field from having it from hand. You can use Bolero to then bring out Waltz and get it activated on the field. Should your opponent try and negate it, you then still have Sonata in graveyard to eradicate and prevent the negation. And that is all for the main deck. The main deck is currently sitting at 54. It is a nice number. It could be adjusted a little bit, should that be part of your prerogative. Now, the side deck is not near as tweaked out. However, it is running 3 Concrete Catacombs because eradication into a non-eradication deck just hurts a lot. Another fun little tech, especially if you are very aggressive with your Magic Wishing Wells and your Path, Void Typhoon, also great against Black Magic decks that like to mill. Get your stuff back into the deck, draw cards, start getting that motor going again. It's not quite good enough to main deck for most of your matchups. However, being able to swap out some of your cards, one of your Fang Faces, like Fang Face and Sad Gold, put in the Typhoons. If you're in those kind of matchups that you really need your deck to be put back together because you got milled a bunch, Mortis and Black Magic, the 2 that come to mind for decks you might want to side that in for. Shackle the Summoner, it's great against any decks that like to make tokens. One that comes to mind first and foremost is Black Magic. Black Magic hurts if it gets going. It is one of the problem decks that did not perform very well at the regional qualifier we had. However, Black Magic is I still believe it is very much a problem deck. Peace of Mind prevents cards from being discarded from your hand by opposing players' card effects. Great into Onoskelis. There are a couple cards with black magic. There's not a whole lot of discard effects currently that I'm aware of, but another benefit of running this card is your once per turn, where you can place a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, and then if you do draw a card, great, especially for take one of your masks from your hand when you're fortified's there, put it at the bottom of your deck, draw a card, play the minion from hand, pull that card out of deck, gift it to your opponent and make them sad, and then if it's destroyed you can place it on the bottom of your deck and draw a card. A single mayoral announcement. It's a good one. Honestly, I don't know if it's worth running with Marianas, because unlike Mists, it is a unified, and unless you draw it near the beginning of the game, you just can't activate it once the realm pops. Mists, on the other hand, is at least a target for Waltz to reduce consume costs and do some janky stuff with Bolero. I don't see myself ever actually using Mayoral Announcement. It's in there because I know it's a good card, and I quite haven't figured out a different option. Good option for replacing it could be another Emshler Isles. Great card. Definitely useful for dealing with angels and things that prevent themselves from being destroyed. Unfortunately, it's not a magic card. Most of the time, it ends up just getting sent to the graveyard, and I rarely see it in hand. Hence, it is in the side deck and not the main deck. Could put them into the main deck should you run more of a not as focused style. Marks of the Chosen. Great card. Still iffy on it. I have it in the side deck. If we ever do get a Majik Mask Warlord and the Realm effect is very helpful, Mark of the Chosen becomes all of a sudden stupidly good. However, at the moment when I do run it, it's the +5 draw through. Can't go wrong with that. And last but not least, for the side deck, we are running 3 Ekritek, the Wandering Warlock. Do have the other one, the promo version that prevents Unifieds from being activated. This gentleman here, Mr. Kessler. However, Kessler doesn't have near as much of an impact in the games as Ekritek does, since a lot of the cards we have in the deck don't remove him on your opponent's turn. And a lot of opponents just don't play, massive board wipes, so you just send out Kessler, and generally speaking, people are just going to not pop him off the field. So, Ekritek is a better option. He's also a lot easier to get. And that is the deck. That is what I'm currently running for Majik Masks. Again, Faceless Smiles is one of those cards that I'm going to be getting at least 2 copies of, if not 3 copies of. I'm going to be running a minimum 2 of it. I'm probably going to run 3 just because of its graveyard effect. Now, for those of you who may not have the big fancy cards of, say, Gardens, Hollow, Dark Portal, some of those promo cards, some good substitutes would be any of the cards that were in the side deck. Magic Moonlight Promenade, if you are running all of the Magic cards and you don't have the big 5 stars, Promenade is a good substitute for those, as it is a pseudo mists. Unfortunately, Promenade doesn't get around Marianas' Realm for the damage prevention, because it is considered a damage prevention effect. So Promenade is a great choice should you be running, say, Heroes or the Onoskelis version. If you're running Heroes and Onoskelis, or any of the other factions, you can replace any of the big 5 stars with those. If you are doing more pure stuff, Promenade is a good option. Another quirky option is Pilgrimage to Albadern. It is a fun one. It is going to just mess with your opponent should you decide to run that one. But if you are running the Magic stuff, honestly, Promenade's a good one. Another good choice for replacing some of the cards that you may not have. Blessed by Brackish Waters. Keep your warriors safe. If it's in your discard, it's a revive. Great card. Just couldn't quite fit it in the deck. Those are some of my recommendations that you could be running instead of some of the bigger, higher end cards like Hollow and Garden. I'm going to be doing my best to try and get some gameplay once got some proper setup going on with locals and everything else. If anyone is interested in more of an in-depth discussion on the strategies and tactics of this deck, as well as more potential side deck or replacement options for some of the cards, please let me know down in the comments below. Drop a like, all that fun stuff. And hopefully we're going to get some other people and some other decks coming on to the cooking show that I can explain and hand off fun little information to everybody. Thank you all for sitting with me through this whole session and taking a look at this fun little recipe for Magic Masks. We will catch you all in the next one. Happy hunting.